What's up, guys? It's the Team J Bean coming at you with a pure Geargia deck profile for April 2014 during the new ban list. Leave a like if you enjoy the video, subscribe if you want to see more. It really helps me and I really appreciate it, so thank you guys for all of you who have been doing that. And with that being said, let's get into the profile. So the theory behind this deck is that all the games that you would win with the Geargia Karakuri version, you would also win with this deck. But on top of that, instead of drawing the dead tuners in your hand, etc., you'd be drawing more traps and therefore making the deck more consistent and winning more games and just overall better in a long tournament. So that's why this deck has seen a really big rise over the last couple weeks, and honestly is a huge contender for the next format now that Firefist and Murmur have gotten hit. So I will be profiling the main side and extra, so stay tuned for that. And with that being said, let's get into the profile. So first we've got the heart and soul of the deck, 3 Geargiarmors. This card is just absolutely amazing. Nets you free pluses. To get you to the armor faster, you run the 3 arsenal. I honestly feel like 3 is the perfect number. I don't know why you would run 2. You want armor in your opening hand every single game, so I feel like 3 is absolutely necessary. 3 Geargiaccelerator. Same thing with this card. I feel like 3 is absolutely a necessity in this deck because now that you don't run the tuners, your Gear Gigant X's don't have the Birdmans, etc. to search, so you're going to be searching Accelerator more, so you're going to want to have the 3rd just so that you always have a target to search. Next we have the 3 Geargiano Mk-ll and the 1 Geargiano. It's perfect amount. This card is absolutely amazing in this deck because now that you dropped all the synchros from your extra deck, now you can make level 3s like a Ghostrick Alucard, etc. So you'll see that in the extra deck. And to round off the monsters, we have the 2 Effect Vielers. Even though Firefist got hit, I still feel like this card is necessary to play because this deck is probably going to be the best deck of the next format until Primal Origins. So Effect Vieler is really good against this deck, and I feel like it's necessary to play. Even though it's really bad in the Bujin matchup, which I feel is another matchup that you're going to have to prepare for a lot in this next coming format, I still feel like 2 Veil is really good. So that's it for the monsters, 15 monsters flat. Now onto the spells. We still have the 3 Upstart Goblins just to make your deck a lot more consistent, getting to your armors more often than not. Then we have the 3 Mystical Space Typhoon. This card is still necessary even though Firefist and Murmurs got hit. This card is really good to get your plays off, and it's necessary for the Bujin matchup, so 3 is always necessary. Then we get into the 1-ofs. We have the 1 Book of Moon. This card is absolutely amazing because it gets you around Effect Vieler. And also this card is just great overall with armor and just overall amazing spell. Then we have the 1 Dark Hole to get rid of established fields. I know a lot of people don't play this in Geargias, but because they say that you always have an established field. But I feel like the problem with Geargia is that you can't get over established fields because you're always having to set armors. So Dark Hole is necessary to get rid of your opponent's established field. And then we have the 1 Tech Mind Control. I feel like now that this deck is becoming really popular for the next format, this card is going to be absolutely insane. This card can single-handedly win you the mirror match. This card is also really amazing in the Bujin match because let's say your opponent goes summon Yamato, activate Kaiser, send Hair to the grave. Now you could just simply mind control the Yamato, and now that your opponent has 0 monsters on the field, so the Kaiser Coliseum becomes irrelevant. Then you could summon a monster, exceed with the Yamato, and get rid of the Yamatos like that. So this card is really amazing in the Bujin matchup as well. So that's it for the spells. That's 9 spells. Now onto the traps. We've got 3 Gear, still the best card in the deck. Honestly, should have got hit by the ban list, but hey, Konami didn't feel like it. So yeah, so 3, so you got to run 3. 3 Fiendish Chain. I still feel like this card is gonna be one of the best cards, one of the best trap cards of the next format. Even though Firefist got hit, so still maxed out on the Fiendish Chain. Next we have the 2 7 tools of the Bandit. This card is absolutely insane. The ability to negate warning because it's a counter trap is so good, and also trap stun. A lot of people don't. A lot of bad players are playing the Karakuri version. No offense if you do, but like this card is really good because it stops the trap stun, which is a really big problem. And also this lets your Exciton Knights go through a lot more effectively, so I feel like 2 is necessary. Next we have 1 Call the Haunted. At first I was playing 2, then I dropped to 0, and now I'm back up to 1. I feel like this card makes good hands better and bad hands worse, and that's just a bad way to play Yu-Gi-Oh! So I don't like 2. I feel like that's way too much in the pure Geargia variant of the deck. but I still feel like this card is really amazing with armor, so it merits at least running 1. So that's why I only run 1 call, but I still feel like you have to run the 1. I was testing with 0, but I really missed the call, so I bumped it back up to 1. Then we have the power 3. We have these 3. I know this card, you do have armors on the board, but now that you're running the pure Geargia variant, you're not going to have fields of double beret Stardust, so this card becomes really good again. And yeah, so you run those 3. And then I do run the 1 Compulse. Now that Fire Fists are hit, I feel like it's safe to run this card, because the only reason people were ever dropping this was because Fire Fists were the best deck of the format, and now I feel like they're just tier 1. They're not the hands down best deck for the majority of the format. Obviously, Mermail saw a rise in the end, and they were probably the best by the end, but for the majority, Fire Fists were the best. So now Compulse is good. I feel like you can run it. Then we have 2 Dimensional Prisons, 1 Mirror Force. This card is really amazing. I like this over Mirror Force, but Mirror Force still has its good, it still has its advantages, so I still run the 1. But I feel like Deep Prison is the much better of a card, so run the 2 Deep Prisons over the second Mirror Force. So that's it for the main deck. 40 cards flat, 16 traps. Now onto the extra deck. First we have 3 Gear Gigant X's. You need 3 because you go into it so often. 1 Arc Knight and 1 Exciton Knight. I would be running 2 Arc Knights, but I don't have the second one right now, and I don't feel like it's that necessary to drop on the second, $50 on the second one. So I will show you guys a replacement for the second one, but I do feel 1 is definitely necessary, and same thing with the Exciton. I went so many games because of this card. But yeah, then we've got the 1 Abyss Dweller. I know Mermails are hit, but you still need to run this card. Mermails still are going to be played, and this card's really amazing against the Harpy deck. So yeah, it merits running it. 1 Daigusto Emeral, you need it to make your Geargia Gears live. 1 Diamond Dyer. I go into this card almost every single match. I almost am tempted to run 2, but I only have room for 1 right now. So yeah, 1 Diamond Dyer, 1 Cowboy for game. I feel like if you have any rank 4 toolbox, this card just wins you too many games to not run it. But so yeah, I run the Cowboy. Then we have the 1 Black Ship. This card's really good, getting rid of Yamatos. It's really good in the Buja match. And yeah, that's it for the rank 4s. Now into the rank 3s. Why the reason this deck is good. So here's the rank 3 lineup right here. Start backwards. We got 1 Acid Golemn. This is my replacement for the Arc Knight. So if you do have the 2 Arc Knights, I wouldn't run this card. Zenmaines is really good because it allows you just to have a really good stall card. It's overall generic. Mechquipped Angineer is really good with the Gear Gigant X because it allows you to get the search off no matter what, so you get to protect the Gear Gigant. It's really good for stalling as well because your opponent can't destroy it or by card effects or by battle. So this card's really good. Soul of Silver Mountain and Ghostrick Alucard are probably the best 2 Xyzs in the deck. This card's really good in the mirror match. Just destroyed set armors. This card's good at freezing back rows and like reviving armors. So these 2 are the best cards in the deck, honestly. And the reason why the pure Geargia deck is really amazing. So that's it for the extra 15 cards. Now on to the side. We have 2 Maxis for Mermails. They're still going to be played, so 2 Maxis is necessary. Then we've got the 1 DeFi and the 1 Soul Drain. I don't run the macro. I feel like that's too much removal. I feel like if you're siding in all 3, I feel like you're over-siding. So 2 is necessary. These 2 are necessary, but the macro is just overkill in my opinion. Oops. Next we have the 2 Black-Horn of Heaven. Sorry about that. This card's really good against the mirror. Evilswarms, Constellas. You know, this card's probably the side deck card of the last format. Then we have 2 Overworked. Fire Fists are still going to be a thing, but I don't feel like they're going to be that big anymore, like the best deck. Overworked, I only run 2. 2 is good. This card's also really amazing against Harpies and Insectors, etc. So even if Fire Fists weren't a thing, I'd still be siding this card, because this card's really good against a lot of matches. So yeah, 2 Overworked. Then we have the 2 Mandatory Dust Tornadoes, in my opinion. This card's good against too many decks. Side the same against Boojins, Fire Fist Mermails. Just get rid of Kaiser Colosseums, Abyss Spheres, Tenkies, etc. So 2 is necessary. Then we have the 3 DNA Surgery. Boojins are a problem. I don't like the Boojin matchup in this deck. If you feel like you have a good Boojin matchup, if you've like tested that matchup a lot, you could definitely drop 1 or 2 of these. But I feel like I don't like the Boojin matchup, so I side 3 of these. This card's amazing. Also, this card's good against spellbooks. So yeah. And then lastly, we have 2 Mind Crush. I was maining this card at the end of last format, but I feel like at the beginning of this new format, this card, the meta isn't solidified enough for this card to be amazing. I know it's good against the Geargia matchup, but I still feel like this card's not good enough to main deck because it can be dead sometimes, and I'd rather have live trap cards that are always live. So yeah, that's it for the deck, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. This deck's really amazing. Honestly, the best deck of the format in my opinion until Primal Origin drops. So hopefully you enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe if you want to see more. And yeah, peace out.